spirit, the subject we're going to talk about today, is learning to, you can have all those emotions, but don't let them control you. Don't let them make you become miserable beings, because really, 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 we are just out here playing roles in this great play, and we have to work from inside out. And when we learn how to do this, life takes on a different flavor, a different color. You're not frightened so much anymore. Of course, we're human. We're going to go up and down. We're going to have good days and we're going to have bad days, but you'll never have drowning days. And that is the difference. And the practice of working with your mind, the mantra. What is a mantra? A mantra actually means that which protects and liberates. A sound. You know, scientists are coming to the greatest truth that yogis have always known, and that greatest truth is that we are made up of vibration, consciousness. We're all consciousness. So consciousness was everywhere. It's everywhere. Do you know consciousness is everywhere? And it's within us. But within us, we become the instrument for consciousness. So consciousness became a matter through sound. And you heard James say, in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In our Hindu scriptures we also say, God was the Word. So when you really think about everything, really think, and we're thinking beings, we really have to understand that we miss out of so much in life, because we are living in the realm of thoughts and ideas and belief systems, rather than the realm of love and energy and vibration. Just let me give you a simple example to make you understand this. You walk into a room, you get a feeling from someone. Could be negative, could be positive. But you just get a feeling. What happens? Your thoughts start moving. Let's say it's a negative feeling. You start judging. I don't know if I trust this person. I don't know, The song starts to come. It's a negative feeling, except it's a negative feeling. Listen to the negative feeling. This is danger. Listen. But what we do, maybe I'm just thinking it all wrong. Maybe I'm making this all up. Maybe I'm too much into judgment. You see, then we start judging our own thoughts. So where does that leave you in here? Totally confused. I'm a bad person for feeling this. Are you a bad person because you felt something? No. It's intuition. It's telling you, danger. So we don't listen to that. We don't listen to the vibration. We get involved in the thought realm. We go into a relationship that will create so much trouble and pain for us, and then we'll blame everybody else for it. What happened? We got totally lost. We forgot to listen. Doesn't mean the other person is bad or good. No, but we get vibrations. Children know this the best. I remember when my children were young, they used to tell me all the time, and I used to listen to them because I did study child psychology. And so my children used to tell, Mom, I don't think I like this friend of yours. I go, why? Why don't you like them? Don't you see, they're not nice. Every time you say something, they put you down. And I'm not listening to my own vibration. So kids have this natural instinct. They do, and we're kids inside. All of us, we're babies inside. We just forgotten that we are, and this is the cause of all our problems. We don't know how to play with vibrations. We don't know how to play. We don't know how to play anymore. We're too serious. We're too involved in our mind. What do I look like to this person? Is somebody thinking of me this way? All these thoughts, so we're not even living. We're not living anymore. We're living somebody else's thoughts. We're living somebody else's mind. We're living somebody else's expression of us. But where is our own expression? So then after all this time you feel depleted. I have no more energy. How can you have energy when you don't even know who you are? When you give all your energy away to the world outside, how can you even start to create? Because when you are creating for what the world wants to see you create, not what's coming from your soul, not what's coming from your heart, what's not coming from your intuition. It's no longer alive. It's dead after years of judgment. So creating in spirit is to awaken yourself. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Really, I'm spirit having a human experience. So let me remind myself daily. Because if you don't remind yourself daily, you will forget. Somebody said to me the other day, when I had an appointment with somebody, and she said to me, Nalanie, every time I come to Gibraltar, a Wednesday talk, I'm great for a week, and then I don't know what happens to me. I forget. I said, you're human. And James sang about Sri Patanjali, who's the great sage of thousands of years ago, and they even knew it then. And what does he tell us? Some of you studied the Yoga Sutras with me. He says, whatever you do, you have to practice for a long time without a break with all your heart. So I said to her, well, it's great. When you come in this room, you practice with me, and it's great, and we can have fun, and we can have love. But when you go home, you don't practice. So being creative in spirit is practicing, recognizing the spirit in you all the time, not depending, they call it nowadays, modern psychology, codependency, this dependency, that dependency. Too many words. ADHD, this one, this syndrome, that syndrome. Yes, they're all there, but they were always there thousands of years ago. We just lock people in boxes. And now we lock people in boxes, we judge them. Oh, you're ADHD, so you're not good for this one. Oh, you got this one, you're not good for this one. We lock people up in boxes, and when we do that to other people, we do that to ourselves. We lock ourselves up. The moment, and all this modern language, and now the other day I met a psychologist, and she gave me some more, we've discovered this new syndrome. And this new syndrome, I said, there's always been these syndromes around for generations. But you tag people. Once you give them a tag, they become prisoners. And you become a prisoner. So I've known many young teenagers who've had drugs when they were younger, and 20 years later people are still judging them. I said, let go of the past. Why are you still judging them? You put a chain around their neck, but not only have you put a chain around their neck, you put it around your neck, because every time, what are you thinking when you see this person? Remember, it's not what other people are thinking that you should be worried about or concerned about, but what am I thinking? Am I judging? Am I making these decisions about the world? Or am I looking inward and watching myself? What thoughts go through my brain? What thoughts go through your brain when you get up in the morning? This is so important. Early morning, late night. So important. What thoughts? Watch your thoughts. Watch your thoughts. Are they excited thoughts like, oh, tomorrow's a new day. What can I add on to make this world a better place? Are you thinking thoughts like this? Or are you thinking, oh, today this person did that to me, and that one spoke like that, and come on, we all make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Let it all go. Let it all go. People will always hurt you, guaranteed, for the rest of your life. And sometimes the nicer you are, the worse it is, and don't worry about it. Just know people will talk about you, guaranteed, good or bad. And I always say to people when they tell me, oh, Nalanie, do you know somebody said this about you? I say, great, at least they're talking about me. And I really don't mind if they say something, not nice about it. I really don't mind. And why don't I really mind? Because I know who I am. And that's such a good feeling. It feels free. Okay, you don't like me? Great, that's your choice. And it's really their choice. Who am I to convince anybody of anything? You see, there's this wanting for people to like us or to accept us. That gets us in such dependency. First of all, get to like yourself. Get to like yourself. Not because you are yourself. And I'll explain this now. Les and I were in Finland, in Helsinki, and I'd like to read this to you. And we both love art, and we both love museums, and whenever we have time off, wow, this is a favorite thing to do. And we walked into this art museum with two very famous Finnish artists. And this was written by an artist called Ellen Teslev. And this was written in the 1819. This is what she wrote as an artist. I'd love to read this to you. There are three persons as one. I myself. Number one, the primitive man in me that has always been. The primitive man in me that has always been. Close your eyes, and how does that make you feel? The primitive man in me that has always been. You can open your eyes. Number two, the one who knows and lives the living life. The one who knows and lives the living life. Do you live the living life? Do you live the living life? Are you living the living life? Yes, you are living the living life, right? And number three, the genius who can go outside of herself and see her innermost self. I'll repeat that. The genius who can go outside herself and see her innermost self. God is in each of us. 1890. So you see, when we touch that genius, that's when we create. And she created as painting. She was a woman in 1890, and women didn't get very far in the world. She did, because she touched her genius. Whatever it is in your life, when you touch that genius and know that God is in you, whatever you want to define God as, I don't really want to debate that. For me, God is love. God is unconditional love. It doesn't matter which tradition you all belong to. Whatever you believe, if you believe Jesus is God, great. If you can live universally with that belief system, great. But don't make Jesus small. Don't make Jesus small. He never judged. And we have a religion that tells us that he's always judging. Poor Jesus, what did he do? If they crucified him then, they're crucifying every day now by saying he's the only way. That's the worst thing we could do to any great master, because all the great masters and all the great teachers have taught us one simple truth. What this artist found out through her work, through stepping outside of herself and looking in and seeing the genius that came from a higher source. And this is what we need to do more in our lives. So step out of ourselves and find the genius within. We are so busy giving all our power away that we have no time to watch what our thoughts are. We just don't. All our thoughts are based on what somebody did to us. You hurt me and I hurt you, and and none of our thoughts really belong to us anymore. How can you be creative? How can you really be useful in life? Our master said there are three things we need on earth in order to live a good life. One, to be peaceful, right? Two, to be easeful. Your body's easeful, you're comfortable, and that's why we do the exercise and Hatha Yoga and all the movements. And three, to be useful. You don't have any of these, and your life is not complete. Such a simple tradition, such simple truth. We need to feel useful. I have met so many intelligent, highly intelligent beings in my life, and they're not happy. You know what's missing? They're not useful, and they're not peaceful, and they're not easeful. Why? Because they put everything into intelligence. and nothing into their heart and their soul. And all the scriptures speak about, where does the soul and the spirit reside? Where does it reside? You tell me, you know. You've heard it enough. Where does it reside? You got to say it. Can you say it? Whose heart? Yeah. Can you say my heart? Yes, mine. Own it. Own it. If you don't own it, you can never be it. You have to own that divine inside of you. And that divine, okay, so we watch ourselves from outside, and sometimes we are that human being with all the faults and all the frivolities and all the nonsense. And why not? We were born to be human beings. We can play. Why not? Have some fun. We were born here to live the perfect life with these three, if we have these three things in our life. So if you are not happy, ask yourself why. Ask yourself why. You know, there's a lovely story. It's such a simple story and such a truthful story. There was, happened to me, happened to you. We all face death in our lives, you know. Happened to you, huh? So this woman, she'd lost her husband, and she just locked herself behind closed doors because she couldn't deal with the pain. She felt she lost everything. So he left her with a lot of money, but she wouldn't listen to anyone, and she just locked herself and felt, why has this happened to me? Why has this happened to me? I don't deserve it. True, nobody deserves it, but it's life. Until 3 years later, she's looking outside her window. This is a true story, by the way. And she sees these children on the street. This is in India, and they're taking food out of the garbage and putting it in her mouth. And suddenly she, oh my God, that's not right. So she runs out of her house, grabs the children, and says, where are your parents? Oh, we have no parents. We live in the streets, and today we chose your street. So she took them in, she dressed them up, she looked at the clothes, and for the first time in 3 years, she laughed. She laughed with the children. She saw these kids so much worse than herself, and she had to bring that spirit out of her to make them laugh. So she put herself out of the equation for those hours, and what awoken in her, the real her, the one that is not tormented by physical pain, but the one that has grown through physical pain. And then from that day on, she just adopted all these kids off the street, and she opened a big orphanage, and after that she was never sad again. So she didn't even know where her life was going to lead her. So then she realized her husband had to pass in order for her to do what she did. And so she blessed his life, thanked his life, instead of being angry with him for, how dare you leave me so young? Wow, you loved me so much. You wanted so much for me to do so much with my life that you left so I could do it. Do you see? Creating in spirit. Doesn't matter what you create. If you can create a smile from somebody else, you've changed today. Les often tells me, sometimes I get, do I really make a difference kind of feeling? And he goes, if one soul is touched, the journey is worth the taking. And then I smile. I said, yeah, one soul was touched. It's okay. It's okay, because sometimes we get into mind stuff, and I do that too. I'm human. And he looks at me and he goes, one soul is touched. And I go, yes, you got it. That's it. That's all I need to hear. And I'm okay. Do you see? So, because it's why if one soul is touched, the journey is worth the taking. Because like I spoke about right at the beginning, we all came from consciousness. We all came from this wonderful vibration, and we all just took different parts in the play to rediscover ourselves. Because prior to coming to bodies, we were just energy. So energy, when you take away the body, all the consciousness can connect, don't they? So like the movie The Matrix. So we all can connect. And when we connect, and this is why God for me is the Lord of love. When we connect in love with everyone, even those who hurt us, that takes great practice though. I spent years doing that. Somebody asked me in Marbella when I gave a talk, said, really, when you practice this, how long did it really take you to forgive? And I answered, I said, you know what, it took me 6 months to forgive here. It took me 10 years to forgive from here. 10 years, and I practiced every single day, blessing the person who hurt me. Till one day I got up and I go, oh, you're my best friend, because of you I got into this path. But it takes a lot of working. The human brain, we get stuck in our ideas, and while we are not loving, and while we're blocked, it's like the energy can't move through us, right, with vibration. So any hatred, any jealousy, any pride, oh, I'm from a good family, oh, I have so much money, big deal, stops you from flowing. You come from a very wealthy family, how lucky, how blessed. Now what can I do to move this energy in the world? What can I do to move it? What can I do to share it? What can I do? What can I create with what I've got? Because money is just an energy. Some people use paint, some people use money, some people use voice, some people use cooking, some people use computers, whichever way. Your children, everything is energy. How you use that energy is what creates in your life. And when you start to live the life you were born to live, the joy comes in, because the genius that is divine is awakened in you. That genius that she found through stepping out of herself is in all of us. This is the practice of yoga, right? Watch yourself, be the witness. And why be the witness of your thoughts? Because you are not your thoughts. And when you can see your thoughts, you can change them. So you get up in the morning, oh, I'm going to have a bad day today. You can't say, don't think that, because the moment you say, don't think that, you will think that the whole day. And you're fighting yourself the whole day. Okay, why do I feel? Accept it. That's how you feel. First thing is acceptance. Never denial. Never lie to yourself. Okay, this is the way I feel. Okay, this is the way I feel. But why am I feeling like this? And while you're doing that, I'm not to blame anybody else for the way I feel. What in me has to blame somebody else? Why can't I look at me? Because if I can look at me and find out why I'm feeling these feelings, then I can sort it out. It may take time to realize that. It may take a lot of analyzing of yourself before you realize this truth. But I tell you, the work is so worth it. And what happens while you work on your own mind? And what happens while you work on yourself? All the energy around you starts to shift. It starts to shift. And then you will see the universe will use every person, book, TV program, nature to give you a lesson so that you know what you have to learn. It's almost like suddenly there are a million angels surrounding you just to get you better the moment you start. And that is the genius. This is the communication of vibration. And when you start to feel that vibration inside of you, you become new. You become you again. What can you leave in this world? What can you leave in this world? You tell me. What can you leave in this world?
Love.
Yeah, it's the only thing that is the highest vibration. So when you're creating in spirit, you're creating energies of love wherever you go and whatever you do. And that feeling is networking, connections, joyful, be happy for there's so many talented people in this world. All of us can grow together. No jealousies. No jealousies. Jealousy is the big one. It stops us from growing. Because when you feel jealous, what does it do right here? It's hard, isn't it? It stops you from growing. Jealousy, hatred, arrogance, pride. Stops you from becoming you. When you just let go, I'm really happy for you. Oh, now you know this guy or this girl, she's such a crook. I don't know why she looks so happy. And I go, Don't even go there. Why are you wasting your time thinking it's not your place to judge anybody? Don't even waste that time in your brain. What can you think? Think beautiful thoughts. Tell me something about yourself. Tell me something about your family. Tell me something you like in somebody. Let's talk about music. Let's talk about joy. Let's talk about, okay, that person is a pain, but what can you do? It's life. Let's talk about other people being a joy in your life, And then when you do talk about pain, it becomes much lighter. It doesn't feel like it's attacking you, but rather that you are working from within. You're embracing the pain, because the pain is teaching you to be who you really are. Because in the end, the biggest pain, if you're not ready, is losing your body. It is losing your body. I have seen a lot of people very ill recently, and that attachment to the body brings so much pain. So much pain. We really need to let go now. But the nice thing about letting go now is that you can enjoy the rest of your life when you let go of these things and just live. And then the universe presents to you ideas, presents to you what you should do with your life. It just comes, but you have to say yes. You have to learn to say yes to life. Many times opportunities come and we say no. We say no. Comes, say yes. You have to take risks to grow. And that's what sometimes we have to do, things that are so different. And it's quite scary. It's quite scary to be yourself, And the moment you do start, people will start putting you down. Don't worry, that's a good sign. You're doing the right thing. It is. You're doing the right thing. They're worried. They're worried you're happy. They're worried you're finding yourself. And this is life, We just have to lift ourselves by ourselves. Just because things go wrong, it goes wrong for all of us. But go through your painful period because it is necessary. It is necessary because it wakes you up. And you know what's the wonderful thing about pain? Pain is so wonderful because after you come through it, you have so much compassion for everyone. You never want to judge anyone. Oh, now she's depressed again. Oh, you don't know how horrible it is to be depressed. Please don't judge her, or please don't judge him. You don't have that right. You don't know how hard it is to be depressed. We don't have that right. We have the right to listen and love. And hopefully when we love enough, listen enough, and not condemn them, somewhere we can touch deep in their soul that light that they can trust themselves again and come through it. And I have seen everybody I have met throughout the years, when you give them that light, they sooner or later find it. If they don't find it through you, they'll find it through somebody else. And that's another thing. No, we're not the only healers. There are many, 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 many healers. There are many creative people, and we can work with each other. The energy, guess what? Moves. It moves. It moves. And it makes us all rich, and it makes us all grow. Share your power, and everyone's power will grow with you. Never hold anything back. I know, when I first started to teach, I remember I used to tell some of my students a few years ago, he said, when I first started to teach, I'd go with you 6 o'clock to the beach. I would teach you everything. And when you didn't understand the pranayama, I would sit after class and spend hours, and I'd get told off my husband for being late. And I did this again and again and again for you guys. Are you doing it for your students? You can spend 1 extra minute and I did this and I did. Counting. We're counting everything. Count. What's the point? And everybody's life is different, and some people just don't want to change, and that's great too. If you don't want to change, inspire your life. You don't have to change where you are. You just have to keep inspiration up every day within yourself. And for me, the greatest inspiration is to get up in the morning and say, in my mind, wow, I'm so grateful for another day. And let's see what is in store for me. It's so exciting. Because you never know. Some days it's going to be bad. It will. I go, oh, well, I had to learn this today. It's just your reaction to it, all right? This is creativity. Watch your reaction. Watch your reaction to everything. Watch your reaction. Where is it coming from? Is it coming from what this person's going to think about me? Or is it coming from, whoa, what can I do to make my life interesting today? Or, oh, today I just want to have a really dull day. Any of you feel that way? Oh, sometimes I just love a dull day. It's, for me, the best gift in the world. To be bored? What a gift. Just to sit and stare. I can do that for hours. Can you sit and stare for hours? I can sit and stare for hours. I'm not given the opportunity too much though. But yeah, that's when the creative juices come. When you start to meditate, and this is what I'd like to really finish up the talk with, is when you start to meditate. And why meditate? Because when you sit quiet with yourself, it is only then that you can know yourself. In the beginning, the thoughts are going to come so rapidly, and you're going to hear so many different thoughts. And the first thing you need to do is watch them. The genius, be the genius that steps out of herself or himself. Step out and watch those thoughts. Remember, you can watch it, you can absolutely. And then you say, do I really want these thoughts? Nobody is keeping me miserable. I am keeping myself miserable because I'm playing the same thoughts again and again. Bad habit. It's just a bad habit. Don't judge yourself. Just a bad habit. Any bad habit can be changed. Patience, time, and love. You gotta love yourself. You gotta be patient with yourself. Got to give yourself time. Nothing good really is built overnight. You need to build a solid foundation with ethical values. Why ethical values? Like I said, we're all connected. If there's no ethics, the foundation will crumble. It doesn't matter about other people's morality or their ethics. Never compare yourself. Sit with yourself. Doesn't matter what the whole world does. It's important for me to find my peace, by the way, I think. And this will take maybe years or days. I don't know. Everybody's different. Some people, I saw a young lady last week. Asked her to practice something. A few days later, she had already done it. And I was like, a what? How did you do that so quick? Normally I have to talk people into changing their lives, right? Facing the truth about your life, the truth. What bothers you deep inside? Confront it. And if there's somebody in your life that's really bringing a lot of pain in your life, guess what you got to do, guys? What do you have to do? I confront it first and then let it go. If you let it go without closure, it will always be there. And sometimes when you confront, what you're going to get is not nice, but you have to stay thinking, once I've said my truth, they know where they stand with me, I forgive, I let go. It's up to them if they want to, and they don't want to. It's up to them, you have to let it go. Now that's the thing you have to let go. Others' reaction to it. You've got to set yourself free by setting them free in your mind. Hard to do. Pride doesn't like us to do that. And I'll tell you, if you don't confront, it is only pride. And big ego. I have to be right. So I don't want to say, I don't want to go and confront the situation. Or fear. Fear of what? They're going to retaliate. They're going to tell you off. Let them. Their prerogative. It's their prerogative. But you've got to take it out before you can fix it. It's kind of like when you have food poisoning. Nowadays they give you Imodium. And all that does is keeps the poison in your body a little longer. If it doesn't stop, of course, you have to take medication. But really, you should let it go for a few hours. Vomit, get it all, the poison off. And then only when it gets severe, then you need medication. But prior to it, sometimes people have diarrhea for 2 or 3 times and they're fine after that. They're fine after that. The poison's out of their body. And so we have to take the poison out of our body. Our body is a vessel. It will store emotions. I'd like to read to you something from the Living Gita. This book was out, like these teachings, 5,000 years ago. Okay? When you do the work that by nature is your calling, you are worshipping the creator of all beings who is omnipresent. Do you know what omnipresent means? Present now, in everyone, in everything. And thus you attain perfection. When you do the work that by your nature is your calling, you are worshipping the creator of all beings who is omnipresent, and thus you attain perfection. It is better to do your own Dharma. What does the word Dharma mean? What your duty that has been given to you in this life. Okay? It is better to do your own Dharma imperfectly than to excel at another's Dharma. Did you hear that? Whoever accepts the duties of his or her own nature is free from sin. And what does sin mean here? Obstacle. That's what it actually means. Any obstacle that stops you from growing is a sin. Sin is actually not a bad word. It's an obstacle. If you perform the duties of your own nature imperfectly, there is no reason to abandon those duties and begin something else. For all your undertakings at the outset are enveloped by evil as smoke surrounds fire. Here, what he's saying is, when you perform your own duty and it's not even perfect, don't worry, because any job you do, when you first started, is not very easy. For example, I know when I learned to play the piano, any of you went to piano lessons? Well, when I did, it was do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do on one hand. And then once I got that hand perfect, then only could I do the other hand. And of course, this is the first 5 fingers and then the last 3. So you have to coordinate. And until I learned to coordinate, then I didn't have to look at the piano anymore. Then I had to learn the notes. And then when I learned the notes, I used to get so frustrated when I get a wrong beat. Yeah, of course, it's not imperfect, but that's what I wanted to do. So don't give up. There's no need to give up. That's what it's saying. If this is your calling, and this is your nature, and this is what you do, then you practice. You keep practicing till one day, it's going to be this easy. Same with dance, same with everything. But first of all, ask, is this my calling? Because many times we want to be what somebody else is. So we try to do things so hard, work so hard, doing something that's not our calling. And then we're constantly got obstacles, right? Sin is obstacles. This is not your calling. You're trying. This is not your calling. But if you do your calling and you have obstacles, don't give up. Got it? So you have to know when. So now that and this is an ancient scripture. So the truth, human beings never changed. All that's changed is our backdrop. So we're in this lovely play, and we've been here for lifetimes, and this time our backdrop is a different one, but we're the same. And now we're getting a bit tired of all this journey of struggle and pain and etc. So we're looking for answers. We're living in a very intellectual time also, but also in a time of high vibration. We're starting to vibrate higher because we have seen what intellect has done to our world. We look at the news and you see the wars and you see what's happened. You see when people are not telling the truth, how it affects the world. In our Gita it says, whatever a great person does, the whole nation will follow. So if you have a leader who is not great, what is happening in our world today? We have many leaders that are not great. And look at our world. Have you noticed? More storms, more fires, more this, because all nature, and everybody's promoting that negative. So to balance, there's a huge awakening in all of us, in our hearts. It's almost like deep inside our soul, something is saying, no, this is not right. This is not the way human beings should live. No, this is not acceptable anymore. So there is an arising from deep within to hug Mother Nature, to save her, and to help each other. We are living in very interesting times. We're living in a time of revolution between material mind and spiritual mind. We are living in it at the beginning of it. We are still smaller in numbers. This is why it is vital that we increase these numbers very quickly. That's why it is vital we are not jealous of each other, but promote the best of each other and bring out the best in each other. I am tired of seeing marriages and partners breaking each other down, and I am so happy to see when you go through a difficult situation and you bring the partner up, whether you love them or not, and you still look after them. And this is what I call sainthood. And I have people in this Sangha who are doing this, bringing people up instead of putting them down, even though they've been put down all their life. This is where strength is. This is our calling, because we have to go through the evil to find the real forgiveness and the real joy. We don't go through it, we get locked in it. At Buddha's last minute, what happened? His last temptation was his own mind, where he saw this beautiful woman and said, where do you want to find your happiness meditating? Or yourself? Come to me. And he goes, you are just a vision. You're not real. This is all Maya. Boom. And she disappears. You see, our mind, this is going to happen when we die. Everything that we think is real and hold and mine is mine, all going to disappear. So while you have it, thank them for being in your life. Thank them. Did you say you love people enough a day? Soppy, I know, but it's wonderful. We do that every night, every morning. You know who we love. Every morning, every night. And it's just so nice, and maybe 10 times a day too, because it's important. It's important. The world is so busy putting each other down. This is the cause of all the pain in our world. So stop looking for the worst in people. Even our mantras. Om Savesham Swastir Bhavatu, Savesham Shantir Bhavatu, Savesham Purnam Bhavatu, Savesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavatu Sukhinaha, Sarve Shantu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Mak Chittuka Bhapavet. Auspiciousness be unto all, perfect peace be unto all, fullness be unto all, prosperity prosperity be unto all, happiness be unto all, health be unto all. May all see good in everyone. May all be free from suffering. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Now it's the awakening of the spirit. As long as I can, I will. And the more you work with this energy, the younger you become. The younger you become, you won't get old. We're all going to get old one day, but your inside, your creative juices are working. It makes you alive. And you are alive when you're alive. When you're dead, you're dead. There's nothing more you can do. But now you're alive. Live the life you were born to live. So now I'd like you to do something creative. And if you want, you can read it out to us afterwards. Now what I want you to do is compose 4 lines of poetry. From this talk you've heard today, what touched your heart, what made you feel great, what opened you, and what words will you take home? And you don't have to show it to me, and you don't have to read it out, but I want you to start creating. Just create, just write, just feel. Don't think, is it good, is it bad? No need to do that. And if you want to do 6 lines, you do. And I'll just meditate while you do that. Almost the soul is saying, thank you for listening to me for a change. Can you feel that? When you listen, it's saying, thank you, I'm here. You know, when the genius steps out, I'm here. I'm really in you. You've just forgotten. And when you write like that, you remember. You remember. And that makes us all happy. You see, this is like a lightness comes in. It's like you let go of something that's not necessary. And also, just saying it is so important. Now you know why so many people get deep, deep depressions and go through miserable times in their life, because they lock it all up. See, just 4 sentences can free you. So you imagine when you take away all that you've stored for years. Don't say, you can't say what you think. Yeah, of course you can't say what you think if you want to hurt somebody. But you can say everything you think when you want to heal and you want to fix and you want to bring the best. Then say it. But if it's to destroy someone, then just keep quiet till you can say it nicely. Right? Till you learn to say it nicely, with love. So thank you. I love listening to all your poetry. Thank you so much for a lovely evening. It's great to be back with Sangha. Sangha means energy of the highest. It's great to be back with family. You know, doesn't think you're mad anyway. And just live a life. Just be each other, you know, just be comfortable. Just to be comfortable.